Hello. Okay, just wait for a while before all the questions you want to ask. Oops. Can you briefly explain how to do the linear programming? The linear programming is quite hard to briefly explain. This is a long topic. Okay, let's start one by one. Let me see. There's so many comments here, so I will just check it out. Some of it. Trigonometric, sir. Index number, first principle. Linear programming. Trigo proven question, dy dx. Okay. If you want to know about first principle, you can just go to check out my video. I do have the first principle video, no doubt. And if you do not know how to do a first principle, maybe I can share the videos to the link below. You'll just give me a moment. First principle, because some students tell me the differentiation of this year, they might come out first principle. So I make the video few, this is 1 year ago. I think I do discuss about first principle. Yeah. No, I'm not sharing you the name. I should copy the link. If you're not sure about first principle, you can try to click the link below. It's actually not so bad. First principle is how the dy dx come from. Is where is the different dy dx come from? Means how differentiation happen. They're based on the first principle, something like that. After SPM only make videos. So have any idea which chapter will come out in MF more? I mean, for SPM, they are very bad. They are very balanced. Basically, every chapter also will come out. Sketching graph function graph, please. Permutation and combination, rate of change. Do you have any? I can't teach the whole topics in 10 minutes and then I make you understand the whole topics. So I hope you can ask something more specific, because MF topic is not like math. Math is something I can very easy to actually tell you, but then MF is not that easy. Like for example, if you ask about vector, you have to tell me which part of vector. So the part of sketching linear programming. Okay, since okay, maybe I see a lot of linear programming here. Maybe we discuss a little bit on linear programming. I couldn't teach account. I'm sorry for that. Find a unit vector. Unit vector is just a formula. You just use the. Let me take my mouse come out first. Okay, I will. Maybe I'm trying to discuss some things. I think is some students will confuse all the time. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, it's so hard for me to actually randomly discuss. Maybe we're just trying to find some paper here. Just wait for a while. Trigonometric graph, please, sir. Sir, can I use the pencil in MF? Normally, we don't use pencil in MF. Volume in integration really mess up, blah, 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 blah. Motion along the straight line. That always ask distance in the last questions. Okay, because this is last minute Q&A, so if you have no basic at all a certain topic, I actually will advise you to go to check out my video or any other video on YouTube, because there's no way I can actually like make you understand certain topic in 10 minutes. That's not possible. At least in MF, I think it's not possible. So if you have no foundation at all, you better go to do some revision here for specific questions. Okay, so let's have a look on the linear programming. I actually tried to pick a question from the Pahang paper, and this is a paper 2. I will share the question for you, all of you to see. Okay, just wait for a while. Okay, I hope all of you actually can see this paper. Okay, for graph, for linear programming, I will expect you can form the equation by yourself. So form the equations part is not what I want to say. I want to say is about the last part, the part C. This is something what I want to say. And so it's hang for a while. Don't hang, please. Oh my God. Okay, just wait for a while. I have some technical issue here. Not sure why. I can I can share with you, but then the problem is I couldn't draw it on my screen. Yeah, I will need to do some setting here, I guess. Yeah, should be okay. What? Okay. Just wait for a while. Some technical issue. I hope it's been solved already. Oh my God, I couldn't draw on my. Okay, just. Oh shit. Yeah, I might need to restart, but I hope I can find out what's happening here. It's a little bit bad here. Okay, I guess I will restart my computer because it doesn't, the pen is just doesn't work here. Pairing, where do I do the pairing thing? I should have a Wacom software here. I'm sorry about that, but just bear with me for a while. Calibration. Pen eraser function. Yeah, I guess should be okay. Okay, it's off a bit. Ah, shit. I just hate when I want to do some serious thing. Yeah, it really happens. All this calibration issue. Okay, let me just calibrate one more time. Okay, finally, it should be okay. Okay, even still not perfect, but I guess should be all right now. But my mouse cursor is missing. Strong here. Okay, let me just restart everything. I'm so sorry about that. I couldn't solve the problem. Okay, I guess I'm okay right now. I hope so. Okay, there's so many problems. Okay, let's have a look on table. Let's go to the last questions on this paper. And yeah, first thing is I will share my screen to all of you. Yeah, you should be able to see the question over here. Yeah, maybe later we'll discuss about integration of for volume also. Okay, so for this question over here, I will actually only discuss on the part C. Okay, part C, which is that actually they call it objective function. Okay, objective function means what? Means after you form all the, you should be able to get three inequality. Yeah, you will get the inequality based on the equation. But the last part is actually you have to draw one of the line, and then you have to use this line. Normally, it's a straight line to actually find the maximum or minimum value. So therefore, this one basically is something like k equals to ax plus b plus by. Okay, so this is objective function. So if you want to form a straight line, yeah, you have to do some substitution x and y over here. So let's say, yeah, the question definitely will give you some value. Let's say this part, the maximum total profit. If the profit from a pair of sports shoe M and a pair of sports shoe N are 30 ringgit and 35 ringgit respectively. So you want to find the maximum profit. So in order to find the maximum profit, I guess, yeah, let me see. Sports shoe M, blah, 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 blah. Okay, 35 minutes, blah, 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 blah. There's so many things here. And then, okay, let's say for the sports shoe M, actually we're going to call it, we do not know what is the coordinate. So what I would say is, I would say k basically equals to 30x, because 30 ringgit for M, x is shoe for M, plus 35 ringgit is for shoe for N, right? Plus 35N. I mean, plus 35Y. So if you want to find the value of k, because you will need to form an equation, you will need to form a straight line equation, which you will need to have a value of k. You cannot live in terms of k, because this one doesn't help you to actually find a straight line. So the k over here, normally what I will do is, I will take the value a multiplied with value b. So let's say 30 multiplied 35, I should be able to get a very nice value here. Yeah, I should be able to get 1050. This one is basically 30 multiplied 35 equals to 30x plus 35y. If I want to make something like y equals to mx plus c in this topic, what I will do over here is I can make y as a subject. So I can say 35y equals to negative 30x plus 1050. And then divide 35 for every single one, maybe. This is 6 over 7x. And then plus 30. Then what I will do over here is basically I will form a table by myself. And then I will draw this line and then use this line to actually find my maximum or minimum value. So yeah, so now the problem is maybe for this value right now, I'm actually using 30 multiplied 35, but this value can be any value you like. You can use a 30 multiplied 35 and then you divide it by 10. You can do that. Or you divide it by 2. You can do that. You can divide it by 5. It can be any value. It won't affect your gradient of the straight line. This value only will affect your C value, which is the y-intercept. Okay? Where come 1050? This value 1050 basically you have to form by yourself. I mean, this value is not given. This is 30 multiplied 35. If you ever do the objective function question, you should know the last part. Basically, find the maximum or minimum value. You have to form your equation by yourself. You have to find the k value by yourself, and then you will draw on the graph. So let's say this is your graph over here, and after that you actually draw your objective function over here, objective function. So what you need to do is basically you will need to move this line. You need to move this line until you touch your maximum graph. Yeah, until you touch your maximum area. So I will try to explain this one further by using the answer sheet at the bottom. So let's say this is your graph here, and then you will need to draw your objective function graph. Let's say your objective function graph is look like this. I mean, I insert a straight line will be better. Okay, let's say your objective function is look like this after you draw. So what you need to do is basically you need to move this line, and then you pay attention at the shaded region. You need to move this line parallelly until you touch the last point of the shaded region. So you're trying to move this line parallelly, and then the last point of the shaded region is actually over here. So therefore, this coordinate will actually provide you the maximum value. So you just substitute this coordinate into the x and y. So let's say you want to find a minimum value. So if you want to find a minimum value, same thing. You pay attention on your shaded region. You just move your line parallelly going down. And then on your shaded region, the last point you touch over there, it will be your minimum point. So your minimum point will be here. So therefore, this one will be your minimum coordinate. So now the problem is a lot of students have no way how to draw this straight line. So you have to learn how to draw this straight line. And then you also need to learn how to move the line parallelly. So normally I will use two rulers to actually do that. So I will use two rulers, and then one of the ruler over here, okay, let me just assume this is what, I will put one of the ruler over here. Make sure it's actually moved parallelly. Now make sure it's already 90 degrees. And then I make this line thicker a bit. Yeah. So you will put a ruler. Let's say the green color is your ruler, and then you use your ruler. You move it parallelly using you make sure your edge actually touch the green color ruler, and then you can move it parallelly. Okay. Yeah. This is something I want to say about linear programming. I guess you should understand what is the meaning for maximum, minimum, less than, more than, at most, at least. All these keywords you should already understand for this topic. And then you should know how to form the equation also for the inequality. I'm not going to teach that one over here. Yeah, because it's a very big thing. Okay, then let's have a look on since I mentioned about the integration for volume. Because every day there's so many students actually ask me about what's the difference between rotate 180 degree and rotate 360 degree in the volume. Okay, so yeah, same thing. Okay, now we go to the integration, and I will share the screen to you as well. Okay, first thing is you have to know the volume. You have to know the volume formula. So for, let's say, okay, let me just zoom in this one, 200%, then I have more space. Okay, so let's say on integration, there's some part you have to understand. The first part is, if I have the curve look like this, and then I'm telling you this shaded area rotate on the y-axis and then 360 degree, and then I want you to actually find the volume of it. So what I will do is this equation just randomly a equals to, can be any equation, maybe 2x squared plus 5. Okay, it doesn't matter. So what you need to do is you have to know the volume formula is integrate pi, and then this value a to b, smaller one put at the bottom, bigger one put on the top. And then this is y, right? Because rotate on x-axis, here must be dx, so here need to be y squared. So that means what you need to do is, in order to find this volume, you will need to integrate AB, and y squared, that means in order to get y squared, you need to square the other side first. So you need to 2x squared plus 5 power of 2 dx. Then only you can start to do the integration to find the volume. And therefore, this is your volume formula. So same thing. If let's say I have a same curve, now I'm telling you this area, A to B, rotate 360 on the y-axis. So the volume formula is still have a pi outside, and then this one still A to B, but then here need to be x squared because here is dy. You just remember, if here is dx, this one need to be y squared. If here is dy, here need to be x squared. They're just always opposite. Okay, this is something you need to understand. And most of the time, you will see rotate 360. But when actually we rotate 180, if you have a area look like this. Okay, and then the question basically tell you something like this, maybe from A to B. Okay, because this one is basically is two symmetry. So for this kind of case, if rotate on y-axis, you will always rotate 180 degree because you will form the volume already. You will form a total. Okay, this is it's not like cone, but you will form something look like a cone. Actually, if rotate, it will look like a cup lah. It will look like a cup like this. Okay, so in order to rotate this one to make it look like this cup volume, so they just need to rotate 180. Why? Because if this one only have one side of it, okay, then this one, in order to form the cup on the top, is need to rotate 360. But this one, because he have another side, over here. So basically what happened is, this side in charge 180 degree, this part in charge 180 degree, total is 360. But then you might ask, if 180 and 360, do they actually using the same formula? Yes, they actually use the same formula. So in the exam, I would say no matter 180 degree or 360 degree rotation, you use back the same formula. That's all. Okay, just use back the same formula. It will help. Okay, so I will stop the screen sharing and see anything else you want to ask. Yeah, for integration, if you are using this formula, this calculator, basically you can key in everything of integration using this calculator to check your answer only. Because the working actually you need to show in the exam paper. I mean, definitely you will see a integration symbol. I mean, this button. You see carefully this button over here. If you click this button, you will see the whole integration things. I hope you can see. Yeah, you see the whole integration thing over here. So basically, this calculator can help you to check your integration value, but then you still need to show the working. So not much different. Okay, difference between parallel and collinear. Okay, parallel and collinear in vector, there's no difference. You use back the same formula. So yeah, if you ask me like something like if AB parallel to BC, it will be same idea. Okay, since you asked about parallel in vector, and I will just show you the things for real quick. Okay, in vector, yeah, you will always see, I mean in Add Math, you will always see parallel or you will see collinear. Okay, basically both of them is actually using the same formula. Okay, parallel. Let's say this is AB, this is B's, and it couldn't be B. It can be CD. Okay, so this one is, I can say AB is equal to lambda CD. But for collinear, maybe A, B, and C is on the same line. That's why we call collinear. Then I will just say AB equals to lambda BC. Or I can say AB equals to lambda AC. It doesn't matter as long as I make sure I use all the ABC. ABC. Okay, then both of these equation is the same thing. And then you have to understand the lambda over here doesn't mean anything very weird. It's just its ratio. Okay, so yeah, you have to understand there's no difference between parallel and collinear. Both also will use the same formula. Okay, anything else? You won't see rotate 270 degree in integration because there's not going to, no way 270. Only will have 180 and 360, and seldom is very, very seldom you will see 180. But even you see 180, just do like it's 360. Because I have so many creative students that will actually divide 2 for their volume when they see 180. It doesn't mean that. You just use the normal integration formula and then you should be able to get the correct answer. Okay, if you want me to explain about trigo, because trigo is a very huge topic. Which part of trigo actually you want to know? I mean, trigo is a very, very big topic. There's no way I actually tell the whole topic of trigo over here, but I make so many videos about trigo. You can actually go to my YouTube channel to check it out. Yes, 180 and 360 degree is the same. How to show the ratio by using the vector? Basically, just use the lambda things to. Okay, let's have a look at some proof question, because since so many students ask me about the proof type of question. Do you have any question for that? I mean, I can't like simply think out some question by myself. Okay, let me just find some question here already. Okay, you all need to chill for a while because just too many things. I can't do so many things at the same time, so one by one. Now I will actually teach about the proving part in trigo. Yeah, and I will need some questions, so I will try to find out some question over here. Identity, 208. Yeah, for the proving part, the first thing is you always need to be very familiar with the formula, because you will need to know which formula to use. Okay, I will try to show some question to you. Okay, let's say okay, let's say sin x over 1 plus cos x plus 1 plus cos x over sin x will actually equals to 2 over sin x. Okay, basically you have to prove this one. Okay, so let's have a look on this question. Okay, so there's so many things I will need to tell you about this thing. Okay, first, what I should tell you is, if you have this one and this one, I basically call this one right hand side. This is left hand side. I will always choose the side with more information. So I will start doing from this side, which is the left hand side. Because for right hand side, there's so little information here. So if I start doing from the right hand side, it will be very hard for me to do. So I will start from the left hand side. Okay, then over here I will write left hand side. Okay, now go to this question. You have to think, what is your first step? What is the first step you should do? So first thing is I realize both of these one is a fraction. I have two fractions here, and then I see a plus here. So the first step come into my mind is I want to make them have the same denominator. That means this one is over sine x, this one is over 1 plus cos x. So I want to make sure both of them have the same denominator. So what I will do is, this one, I will multiply sine x, and I will multiply sine x. And for this one, I will multiply 1 plus cos x for both. Because I want to make them become the same denominator. This is fraction. You need to plus fraction. This one always be your first step. All right, so I will just say sine x multiply sine x is sine square x. Over the bottom is basically sine x and 1 plus cos x. I won't expand this one because I realize if I expand this one, it doesn't help so much. So I won't expand. I will not expand. I will just leave like this first. I see later do I need to expand or not. Then the 1 plus cos x to multiply 1 plus cos x, you'll get 1 plus 2 cos x and then plus cos square x. Okay, this is the first step. Okay, the second step. What I will do for the second step here, I try to see can I substitute in any formula. I will try to use the formula in the second step. So over here, I see sine square and cos square. I understand one formula is sine square plus cos square equals to 1. So when I see sine square and cos square, I know this one is equals to 1. So what I will do here is I simplify it to make them become 1. So I get 1 plus 1 plus 2 cos x over sine x and 1 plus cos x. And you should know 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. So I will plus 2. And then I will factorize out the 2. I get 1 plus cos x. And then if you see carefully, you know that you can simplify the 1 plus cos x, isn't it? So what I will do here, I will simplify 1 plus cos x, and then I will get 2 over sine x. And then I will say short. Okay, so for this kind of question, it's so important to understand what you should do first. Okay, if you understand what you should do first, then the whole thing, it will be very easy for you. If you can't understand, then you will be panicked over that. Okay, I try to give another so-called not so simple question. Yeah, okay, let's have a look at another question. Since I teach, I want to make sure you get it at least. So let's say I have cos x squared minus sine square x over cos x minus sine x equals to cos x plus sine x. So basically, you need to prove this kind of question. So whenever I do this kind of question, it's very depend how much your knowledge in this kind of questions. So the first thing I'm trying to do is I can understand this one basically is a squared minus b squared. Okay, I won't substitute the cos square because we know cos square equals to 1 minus sine square. I won't do this one first. Because when I see something like a squared minus b squared, I know this one I can change to something like a plus b multiply a minus b. Yes, this is, so when I see this pattern, I will try to do like this. I will use left hand side definitely. And then I try to become cos x plus sine x. And then this is cos x minus sine x. And then you can see I can easily simplify with the bottom one. And then I will get cos x plus sine x. And then I will get the answer easily. Then I will say proven. Okay, so sometimes you need to understand what you should do first. Because a lot of students the first thing they do is they try to spam in all the formula they know. But then, yeah, it's not all the time you will need to spam in all the formula you know. Okay, so yeah, there's so many different type of proof question, I will try to show one last, and then we will move on. Okay, let's say we have cos x equal over cosecant x plus 1 plus cos x over cosecant x minus 1 equals to 2 tangent x. Okay, so if you want to do the question like this, I say always choose the side with more information. So I will choose left hand side. I will choose this side just because it has more information. So I will start with left hand side. And then I will start to analyze this one. I will basically see a fraction here, 2 fraction, and then the symbol on the middle is plus. So I will apply the first thing, same denominator. Okay, but whenever I do the same denominator, basically I will multiply each other denominator, and then you will realize something. If you try to call this one as A, this one as B, you see this is A plus B. This is A, this is B. You see this is A minus B. A plus B multiply A minus B, basically you will get A squared minus B squared. Right, this is something they love to apply this one in this topic. I'm not sure why. So on the bottom, because you will get A squared minus B squared, so I will get cos secant square x minus 1 square. So on the bottom, on the top there, I will basically multiply this whole thing. Okay, so I will get something like cos x multiply with cosecant x minus 1. I mean plus cos x multiply with cosecant x plus 1. Okay, it's because I make them have the same denominator. There's nothing very special here. And then over here, I try to see the cosecant square x minus 1. Do I have any formula? Actually, I can do cosecant square minus 1. You should know this one basically, the bottom, this one basically is equals to cotangent square. Okay, this is just a formula. Now I'm trying to apply in the formula. And then on the top here, I will just expand it. So you see, if I expand, I will multiply into both. I will multiply both. So this one, I will basically get something like cos x, cosecant x, minus cos x. This one, I will actually get cos x, cosecant x, plus cos x. So plus and minus, I will simplify. I will left this one. So what is cos x and cosecant x? Cos x multiply with cosecant is 1 over sin x. So basically, you will get cotangent x. Because cos x over sin x is cotangent. And then you have 2 of it. So this one is 2 cotangent x. And then, since I want to get the answer, I will just change everything in tangent. Or I can simplify this one first. Cotangent and cotangent. So this is 2 over cotangent. Cotangent is 1 over tangent x. So therefore, I will get 2 tangent x. Then I will share proven. Okay, so yeah, for show part, it's so important you understand what you need to start and what you should do first. Okay, I guess that's all for trigo proving part. Is there anything else you want to know? So can I ask about the difference between new mean, new median, new variance, and new standard deviation? Okay, sure. It's for new mean and new median. Whenever you see multiply or plus, you just do whatever they ask you. They ask you to plus any number first, minus any number first, or multiply or divide any number. Just follow exactly what the question wants. If you see variance, if you see standard deviation, you only care about multiply or divide. And then the difference between variance and standard deviation is the variance you need to square your multiplication or your divide. If let's say today I divide 5, I need to divide 5 square for variance. But for variance, I only divide 5. Okay, this is my explanation for the new mean and new variance, something like that. Okay, there's so many things Motions. I thought lots of students actually don't do motion, permutation and combination. Okay, let's have a look on permutation and combination. Real quick one. Okay, for integration and volume, let me just briefly explain something first. Okay, let's say you have a triangle. Okay, and this is your triangle. If triangle rotate 360 on the x-axis, what you will get? You will get a cone. You get a cone like this. So let's say this one I say is 0 to 7, and then over here this is 5. So from here I know my cone here, my height is 7, my radius is 5. So for this one, if rotate 360 degree the triangle, rotate 360 degree on the y-axis, on the x-axis, basically I will do volume equals to 1/3 pi r square h. My r is 5 square h. I will just use the cone formula to do it. Okay, so basically you will get some pi, you leave your answer in certain pi. Okay, then what I want to say is about the rectangle. Let's say you have a rectangle like this. And in this rectangle, same thing, I give a value, maybe 1 to 5. Over here is 7. Okay, if a rectangle rotates 360 degrees on the x-axis, basically you will get a cylinder. You will get a cylinder over here. So you should understand, over here, this is your radius. And this one is your height of your cylinder. So I know my radius over here is 7. And then I know my height over here is 5. Then I can just find my volume using the pi r square h. This is the volume for cylinder. So be pi 7 square 5. All right, this is how actually we see the volume for shapes. It means because sometimes you need to rotate, so you need to understand this basic. Okay. Okay, for permutation and combination, okay, let me just talk a little bit on permutation and combination. I will mention more about permutation because combination is quite easy. Okay, because if you watch my video before, I always teach students how to differentiate between permutation and combination. P and C. Okay, P stands for permutation, C stands for combination. So most of the time, over here I'm saying most of the time. Okay, not like 100%. Most of the time, mean it can be 85% if most of the time. All right, we will use permutation when we see some number, some letter, yeah, or some alphabets, yeah, and then they will ask you to do some coding, or then they want to take the photograph. They will arrange in the row. You will see a word arrange or arrangement. Okay, you will see all these words is permutation. And most of the time, if you do combination, basically you will see some human. They want to select boy and girl. You can see some book, history book, science book, mathematics book. You can see some event or some competition, mathematics competition, and then they want to select boy and girl student to join. Yeah, human actually include student, include people. Yeah, it can be a lot of. It's not, the arrangement is not so important. So I will just give you a case about human. Okay, if today I want to take a photograph, I have a student. I have a student A, B, C, D, E. And then you see the question basically they always say, the arrange in a row to take the photograph. To take photo. So that means if you trying to assume now actually you are the people who viewing this photo. If A, B, C, D, E, I mean A, B, C, D, E, and A, B, C, E, D, if two of these person that switch place, can you actually tell the difference? If both E and D switch place, if you see this is a photo, the first photo you see is A, B, C, D, E. This is the first photo you see. The second photo you see is A, B, C, E, D. Mean both of these people actually they swap place. Definitely you know both of these photo is a different photo. You won't tell they are the same photo, isn't it? So in this case, means arrangement matter. Because a student come to my Facebook to ask me that the student said, sir, you say about human is always C. So this one, this is five human, right? So I will use combination to do this question. But why wrong? Because I would say most of the time human, you can use C. But then if arrangement matter, you have to use back P. Okay, so this one basically, if 5 students they want to arrange it, is 5p5, or you can say this one is 5 factorial. And a lot of students come to ask me when to use PC or when to use factorial. Okay, that one I can explain a little bit. Normally, we use factorial. If we use factorial, means we have to use all the total number. We have to use all the total number. That means if I have 11 books here, I want to use all the I want to use all the 11 books, then I will use factorial. If I have 11 books here, I want to choose 7 books. I have 11 books here. I want to choose 7 books. Then it can be either 11C7 or it can be either 11P7. So between the factorial and the P and C thing is normally for P and C is you want to choose from the total. You want to choose certain amount from the total. Okay, this is the difference between factorial and N and P. Okay, so yep, I guess that's all for permutation and combination. Is there anything else you want to ask about that? P actually stands for permutation. Mean whenever you see the word arrangement, basically you need to use P. Let's see some serious question here. In the arithmetic progression, the sum of the first 14 term and the sixth term is 7. Find the first term and common term. Now this is a very easy question from Kingston Mo. This one basically you just do something like sum of the first 4 terms, you just do S4 equals to 14, and the sixth term is equal to -7, you just do T6 equal to -7, and then solve the simultaneous equation. Okay. Okay, since a lot of students actually ask about probability distribution, so we're trying to go to probability distribution first. Okay, for probability distribution, I think a lot of students have the problem on the bell-shaped diagram. So actually, I will focus on the bell-shaped diagram part. And then, yeah, it's hang, like usual. Okay. Okay, for permutation and combination, actually I teach many times in my own video as well, but still a lot of students cannot understand. When actually you start to find a table is you have to get something like your z must bigger than the positive value. Okay, the a must be positive value. Okay, this one must be positive, and then this symbol must be bigger. Then only you can find from your table. And in this topic, the z is bigger or equal have make no difference. Only in probability distribution is actually make no difference. Okay, this is the first information you need to understand. So your objective for this question is you must try to get something like z is bigger than a. Okay, so if I have a bell-shaped diagram look like this, and for this bell-shaped diagram, I want to find a, maybe this one I call it -2, and this one I call it 1. I want to find the area between here. Okay, so the first thing I would say is there's no way you can straight away get the area on the middle. Even though you will get the z is between -2 to 1, but then there's no way you can straight away do this one from the table. You can't straight away do this one from the table. There's no way. So what you can do is you know the total area under the curve is 1, means the total probability for area is 1. You minus the part A and the part B over here. So here I'm going to call it part A and part B. So what you can do is, in order to find this one, you need to use 1 to minus 1 means the total area under the curve, to minus the probability z is less than -2, because this part over here is called z is less than -2, and this part is called probability z is bigger than 1. So then you just do this, minus -2 minus probability z is bigger than 1. Okay, so this one already bigger and this is positive value, you can find z value. But this one you can't because it's less and negative. So you're not yet. So what I will do is I say whenever you see less and negative, you can straight away change this one to positive. To bigger and positive. Now you can use the z value table to find both of this one and get your correct answer. Okay, this is something you have to know about permutation. Okay? Yeah, I guess this is something I want to mention about permutation. Okay, I mean not permutation, what I'm saying, I mean probability distribution. Okay, so is that anything else? Yeah, because I always trying to drink some sweet drinks to actually make me feel more energetic. Because you need to talk to a mic and a camera for 2 hours. It's not something very interesting. Yeah, you can try to Skype with someone, but your opponents, not to say opponent, but the people on the other side doesn't talk at all. You have to talk non-stop alone. Yeah, you need to try to enjoy it. Okay, I see so many. Okay, for log. Okay, let's talk something about log, because yeah, a lot of students still very confused about log. I'm not going to show any question here, but then I will teach you some common mistake about log. Okay, for log, the most common one is something like log x plus 3. Okay, if you see something like log x plus 3, and then you will do, this is log x multiply log 3, because plus means multiply. then you got wrong. And then you might think maybe this is log x plus log 3. And then you got wrong again. Because for log questions, if you see something here inside the bracket is plus or minus, there's no way you can expand this one. This one is not expandable. Means you can't expand, you can't expand log x plus 3. Same thing, if you see something like log 1 minus y, you can't expand this one. There's no way you can expand this one. Okay, this is the first thing I want to say. Okay, second thing, log 6 over log 3. A lot of students, when they solve the question like this, they just do not want to use the calculator, and then they tell me this log and this log, and they simplify 6 over 3, they get 2. You try to use your calculator to type log 6 over log 3, you will not get the nice number like here. If you use the calculator, you type in, basically you will get the correct answer is 1.631. Okay, this is one of the common mistakes. Don't do this. It confirm is correct. It confirm is wrong. Okay, and then another common mistake is something like this. Same thing. Maybe this is log x plus y over log 3. Don't simplify and then you say this is x plus 1 over 3. Confirm this is wrong because you can't simplify. Okay, because when I mark the exam paper, this kind of situation happen all the time. And then something like this. If something like log a equals to 4 over log a, and then the question basically asks you to find the value of a. What is the value of a? So over here, okay, first thing you should know, you should move the log a to the other side. So this is log a multiplied log a, you'll get log a squared equals to 4. And a lot of students, they will try to do something like this. They see a 2 here, and they move the 2 in front. And then what they do is they will get 2 log a equals to 4, and then log a equals to 2, a equals to 10 power of 2 equals to 100. And then you have got, not to say wrong, it's just, okay, it is wrong because you couldn't do like this. Yeah, even though this answer just correct because of coincidence, but then this method is wrong. Because what? Because log a square is not the same with log a square. Because over here, this square over here is for a, is for a only. But then the square here, this square is for the whole log a. It's not the same. So this is something you need to understand. You cannot move the 2 in front. Even it seems like it can, but then you cannot. So if you cannot, what you should do over here is you should move your square to the other side, and it becomes square root positive negative 4. Then you will have 2 answers, which is log a equals to 2 or log a equals to negative 2. Then a will get 100 or a you will get 1 over 100. Okay, this is something you should understand about log. Yeah, because people are so easy to make mistake in log. So I just want to make sure you don't make all these mistakes. Okay. So another thing is, when you have something like log a multiplied with log b, okay, a lot of students, they tend to expand this one, become ab, which is wrong. And some students might do something like a plus b, which is wrong. For this kind of case, it cannot be solved also. Okay, this is something you have to actually pay attention at. Okay, this one cannot be means you multiply, you have to find out what is the value between them, and then you multiply them. Okay, this is something I want to talk about log. And anything else? Anything else before I? Linear law is very easy. You just go to check out my linear law video. Now, since the student asked about linear law, I just talk a little bit of linear law on the common mistake. Because, yeah, people tend to make common mistake in linear law, even though I tell me so many times. Let's say, I have log y, again log x, and then you're able to form a straight line. And this straight line is basically passing through 5, maybe. Okay, so I have an equation something like y equals to ab power of x. Okay, the simple one. Okay, so and then of course because of that diagram, let me give this value also. Maybe here is 20 or 10. Small number, very good. So the first thing is you have to change this equation. You have to change this equation into y equals to mx plus c, and then you see the log. You know you should log both sides. And then log rule basically tell you multiply means plus. Cannot be. Okay, my bad. This one is over x lah. Okay, then what you need to do is you move the x in front, and then you get log b x plus log a. Okay, this is one of the very, very common question for linear law. And then the question basically asks you to find a and b. Okay, from here, if you arrange like this, you know this one basically is your gradient. And this one basically is your vertical intercept. Okay, your gradient over here. Okay, in order to get the gradient over here, you should know your gradient. In order to get the gradient, it's just negative y-intercept over x-intercept. So it's negative half. So if you straight away say b equals to negative half, then you got wrong. Because negative half is not belong to b, it's belong to log b. So what you need to do is you have to move the log to the other side. You get 10 power of negative half. And then you got something like 1 over square root 10. This is the value for b. Same thing to a. If you say a equals to 5, then you got wrong. Because this one over here, this one, the 5 here is log value. So I will say something like log a equals to 5. Maybe a is equals to 10 power 5. Then it's just 50. Okay, this is how you should do the linear law. You must pay very good attention is whether you want to find a, b, or log a or log b. Okay, if the question they're trying to trap you, they straight away ask you to find log b. Then you just straight away say this is negative half. If the question asks you to find log a, you just say it's 5. You don't need to simplify. So you must very clear the question want to find log a or they want to find a. This is something very big different. Okay. Yeah, is there anything else? If not, I will actually end the virtual class soon. Okay, just for completing a square, a quick one. Yeah, but I guess you should know the basic of completing a square. If today, I mean, if now only you start to learn about how to see the value in completing a square, it's not a good news for you. I mean, yeah, it's kind of bad. Okay, so but then I will still teach you, no problem. This is x minus 5 squared plus 7. Okay, this is the completed square pattern. And then first thing First thing is, you have to determine this one will give you minimum or maximum. Minimum or maximum always depend on the value inside the bracket square. If this value is less than 0, you will get maximum. And then your maximum coordinate you have x and y. Your x value always gets inside the bracket. But then you will get an opposite value. So normally, how do I get an x value here? I will say x minus 5 equals to 0. X is equals to 5. Okay, so I know my x is 5. You cannot straight away say x is negative 5, then you got wrong. And the y value always take the value which is alone and is constant, which is 7. The examiner not necessarily must be so nice, write this way. They can write this way as well. You still will get the same thing. You still will get the maximum coordinate, 5 and 7. So you should know when it is alone here, this is your y value. Y value, they still call it maximum value. If the question asks about maximum value, you just say 7. X value, normally they will say corresponding values of x. Then you just say 5. Okay, this is how to actually see the copying the square. All right, so, yep. Is there anything else? Okay. Composite function diagram. Do we have any diagram for composite function? Probability table. You want me to explain about table? Okay, sure. I think I can explain about the z-score table a little bit. I mean, real quick. Okay, but I'm not sure whether you can see it or not. Okay, you have sort of like this, the z value table. So from z value table over here, okay, for z value table over here, you should see something like this. Over here, this is z-score. This one over here, this is everything is z-score. Means something like z is bigger than 2, then you find 2 here. If 2.1, you actually, 2.4, you check 2, and then you check the 4, you come down 2.4 is somewhere here. And then the value inside here is basically your probability. Means this area basically is those area under the curve. Means all value is over here. And then you will find out your maximum value here is 0.5. That's why if in your diagram you always see the value big more than 0.5, mean you couldn't straight away get it from the table. Because the table value maximum is 0.5. Then you have to solve the bell-shaped diagram first, then only you go back to the table. Okay. Anything else? When to use? If you want to find the area, then you have to use the table. Okay, let's have a look on gradient function for a while. Okay. Okay, first thing is, whenever you see the gradient function, it actually means m. It's same meaning with gradient, but gradient function is just the gradient for curve. Okay, there's no much difference between gradient function and the gradient for the straight line. But let's say the gradient function I tell you is 2x. and then they're passing through point A. So I will say pass through A and 2, 4. And then I ask you to find the equation of the curve. Equation of curve. So one of the very important features about gradient function is to help you to find the equation of curve. Because if you want to find the equation of curve, you should understand, in order to find the equation of curve, basically you will need to integrate dy dx. And gradient function itself is the dy dx. So if you know dy dx equals to 2x, then what you need to do is you need to integrate 2x. So if I integrate the 2x, I will basically get 2x squared over 2 plus c. Because when you don't see any finite here, you always need to do a plus c, especially on the equation of the curve part. The plus c is a compulsory, it's not the optional. Alright, so then in order to find the c, you will need a coordinate. This is x and y. Then you just do some substitution here. My y equals to 4, and my x equals to 2. Yeah, don't do 2. I don't like 2. Maybe you change to the 1. Okay, I will get 1 squared plus c. So my c equals to 3. So therefore, my equation of curve equals to x squared plus 3. Alright, so this is one of the very important function of gradient function, is to help you to find the equation of curve. Okay, of course, you also need to understand something is, if gradient function, let's say the gradient function at point A is 5. This one, it will be same meaning with the gradient of tangent. The gradient of tangent at A is also equals to 5. Okay, so that means the gradient function basically is the gradient for the whole curve. But each of the point on the curve have their own gradient of tangent. So you want to know about gradient of tangent, what you need to do is you just dy dx and you substitute the x value at certain point. Depend where the tangent line will cut through. Okay? Yeah, this is some things I want to talk about gradient function. Is there anything else? Yeah, I can feel that all of you are really distressed because you start to talk nonsense over here. Okay, for solution of triangle, maybe I will talk about the ambitious case. Yeah, because some students actually have some difficulty on solution of triangle. And I try to see, do I have any paper here can help? Okay. Just be patient. Okay, let me go to the solution of triangle. It seems some of you actually asked about this thing. So we will actually focus on the part B, which is sketching the triangle. So in order to sketch a triangle, they have some condition for you. They say point E lies on the line AE, such that ED same with the ED. The E here is a new E, okay? The E prime. And then they ask you to sketch a triangle. This is quite simple. That means I have an AE here. The AE, okay, E is lying on AE, and ED is same as the ED. Okay, so you realize actually I have AE here is 12 centimeter. So the E prime actually lies over here. So I should know, how do I know where exactly the E? Because the question said ED will same with the ED. This is the very important information. Normally, I will try to link this one with the isosceles triangle. That means I have two lines which is the same length. So over here, if I want to do the isosceles, do you find out this is isosceles triangle? This is DE, so my new E is over here. You see the ED is same with the ED. I mean E prime D is same with the ED. All right, and then they ask us to sketch the triangle for AED. So you just draw out this triangle, AED. Basically, you just draw out this triangle. And then definitely you need some angle. I mean, sometimes you need to solve the triangle. So what you can do over here is, because this is isosceles triangle, this angle is same with this angle. So you can easily get this angle. Let's say I call it delta. You can easily get this angle by using 180 minus delta. Yeah, this is something you have to pay attention. And then what's the length of DE here? You just copy and write on the new DE. And then you just sketch out this new triangle. Yeah, isosceles triangle is some, like in Malay, it's called segitiga sama kaki. If I didn't make any mistake. Yeah, so you always remember this idea, and then you can easily solve the ambitious case. Or you can go to YouTube to check out the solution of triangle ambitious case. And then you will easily understand this part. It's not that bad. The maximum and minimum area of differentiation. This one you just do some dAdr equals 0. Very easy. Top up is you blah 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 blah. Okay, let's have a look on differentiation. There's so many differentiation requests over here. I hope we can find some hard one. Okay, maybe I just give the question by myself. Okay, for maximum and minimum area. Okay, let's say I will have a trapezium. Okay, and then this trapezium is basically, okay, here is 2x, here's 2x. I mean, here cannot be 2x. Here maybe it's 3x, and this is y, and then this one, yeah. And then for this kind of questions over here, okay, first thing is they will ask you to show that wow, I can't simply give, because later we'll get some terrible fraction. Never mind. Just give me some time. I try to find some differentiation question now. Because it's very hard for me to randomly come out a question and trying to do. Yeah, I can actually get the question from the book actually. Why can't I think that? Okay. Just a real quick. I try to find some differentiation, means the application of differentiation, to actually show you on how to do that. 278. Okay, let's say we have a question look like this. You have a cylinder, and on the top of cylinder you have a sphere, and then okay, here is H, and then here is R, radius and the height. And then the question basically tell you this is a combined solid, and the surface area is given you. I mean, the surface area of the solid, yeah, surface area equals to 288 pi. Then the question basically asks you to show V equals to 144 pi R minus 5/6 pi R cubed. Okay, and then this is the first one they ask you to do. And the second one, they basically ask you to find the maximum values of V. So they'll ask you to find the maximum volume. Okay, so for this, is there any problem? Oh, sorry, I haven't shared my screen. My bad. Thanks for reminding me for that. Okay, just wait for a while. I have a call. I will come back in a few seconds. Wait. Okay, so over here, yeah, my friend is just trying to call me and tell me that, oh, you can't see the screen. And right now you can see the screen. Okay, this one is considered quite tough for the differentiation of question. Because over here, what is happening right now is you need to show this one. There's no way you can straight away show the V equals to 144 pi R minus 5/6 pi R cubed. So in order to do this one, we have to use this information to form one equation. I need to use this information to form one equation. And then before I form the equation, I will need to pay attention over here. From this V equation over here, we only have R, we don't have H. We only have R and we don't have H. So this information tell me what? I will need to make one equation which is H as the subject. H equals to something R. This is the logic. Okay, so over here, I need to make an equation, and then I want to make H as a subject, and then I will substitute in, and then this equation I will substitute into the volume equation. I will substitute into the V volume equation. The volume equation over here is just the cylinder plus the head. This is hemisphere. Okay, so let's try to solve this equation. So the first thing is I trying to find the total surface area. The hemisphere on the top, the surface area is 2 pi R square. And the cylinder, the bottom part, this part basically is just pi R square. And on the middle part is basically 2 pi R, 2 pi R H. Okay, if you don't understand how to find this area, you need to go back to the form 3 because you already learned all this on form 3. So the total surface area is equals to 2 pi R square plus another pi R square. You have 3 pi R square. And then over on the middle is 2 pi RH. Okay, so total surface area is given is 288 pi. So this is 288 pi. So it equals to this thing. So since I want to make h as a subject, what I will do is I will minus the 3 pi r squared here and then divided by 2 pi r equals to h. This is my equation. Because you're trying to imagine the 288 pi is here. And then you make h as a subject. The h is over here. You want to make this one as a subject. So you just move everything to the other side. And then, now I have this one already. But my objective is to show this one. So I want to get a volume formula. So you should know the volume for hemisphere is basically 2 over 3 pi r cubed. The volume for cylinder is just pi r squared h. So the total volume over here, total volume for this one should be 2 over 3 pi r cubed plus pi r squared h. Okay, so in order to show this one, just now you have the h, isn't it? You have to substitute your h into it. Okay, it's stuck already, but it doesn't matter. I just try to use the information we have. So V is equals to 2 over 3 pi r cubed plus pi r squared h. My h is the whole thing here. Pi and pi I simplify lah. I just do love to write so much pi. I mean 3r squared over 2r. Okay, then I try to simplify this one. R and R I will cut. And then I multiply. And 2, okay, it doesn't matter. 2 over 3 pi r cubed. And then this one, I multiply the first one. It will be plus 288 pi over 2. And then I minus this one. It will be minus 3. It will be minus, 3 pi. I have an r here, sorry. 3 pi r cubed over 2. Okay, so we kind of get the answer already. Because the answer basically is 144 pi r. We have it over here. This one I will simplify. And then I should get negative 5 over 6 pi r cubed. So from here, I will just simplify this one. I will just simplify this one with this one. So what I will do over here is, I will minus them. So I will use 2 over 3 minus 3 over 2. 2 over 3 minus 3 over 2. So I will get negative 5 over 6. So therefore, here is 144 pi, because I simplify, I get 144. So it's 144 pi r minus 5 over 6 pi r cubed. Then I will say shown. Yeah, this is considered very, very tough question in this part. But then, yeah, you always need to know how to form the equation. And since it's hang already, so I will just restart this one. Okay, so just now I already show you how to find. So after that, what you need to do is maximum volume. If the question asks about maximum volume, what you need to understand is, I will do the dv/dr. Basically, I will differentiate. Why I write v and r here? Because I have v and r here. So I get 144 pi. And then minus the 3 I will move in front, will become 15 over 6 pi r squared. And maximum minimum mean dv/dr equals to 0. And then I will get this thing. This one I will simplify, become 5 over 2 pi r squared. And then I move the 5 over 2 pi r squared to the other side, equals to 144 pi. Then I will try to solve it to get what is my r value. So my r squared basically equals to 288 over 5. And then my r is just square root of it. Just square root 288 over 5. And then basically I can get my r is basically 7.589. 7.589 centimeter maybe. But then you don't stop here because the question doesn't ask you to find the r. The question basically asks you to find what is the maximum volume. So you have to substitute your r into your volume formula just now. Just now you get 2 over 3 pi r cubed uh, plus the pi r square h. So basically, you need if you want to find the volume, total volume, you have to substitute your r into all the r here, and then also h. H you can easily get from here. You substitute your r back into here, you can get h, and then and then you can easily get the maximum volume. Okay, yeah, this is a very tough differentiation question. I hope you can actually understand that. If you don't, yeah, you better go to practice this one. Yeah, I guess I would need to actually, end the virtual class. Is there anything else you want to ask before I end the virtual class? I mean, before I end this live class. And I'm so proud that we have more than 300 students join this live class. Do I expand first or bring the power of 2 on the front? For differentiation, always bring the always bring the power 2 to the front minus 1. You don't depend. If you want to, if the one is bracket square, you can expand it first. If you are doing the question regarding blah 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 blah, do you leave your answer? Yeah, I think for MF you can leave in 3 or 4 decimal. It won't minus your mark because you have too many decimal. Yeah, but don't simplify to 2 decimal at the beginning. You can simplify until the final answer. Then you round off to 2 decimal. But then for your working step, I mean your previous step, you should always leave in 3 or 4 decimal. And then it's possible trying to leave your answer in fraction, because fraction is more accurate, is a lot more accurate than decimal. So when I do it myself, I always leave my answer in proper fraction. If possible, try not to use the pencil. Teacher, do you think the base mark this year is low to get a minus? To get A minus? I think A minus is about 60 to 65. I think it's very, very easy to get A minus. C, I think is very easy. As long as you get 35 and above, I guess you already see. 35, you have to assume you can wrong 65 mark. Mean you can almost wrong more than half paper for both paper, then you still get C. So I think C is very, very easy. For motion along the straight line, basically you can go to check out my video. I do make few videos about motion along the straight line. For me, that question is easier than linear programming for me, because I find that question is very easy. But since that one is only 4 choose 2, so you all can choose whatever you all want. Okay, whenever you want to solve the locus question, you just use the distance. They always will tell you the locus P to the A is 2 units. Then you just say AP equals to 2, and then use the distance formula. You solve the distance formula, you can get the locus equation. There's nothing very special about locus. A lot of students, when they see locus, they will panic. It's just a distance formula. It's very easy. In composite function diagram, I don't understand what is composite function diagram. Basically, the volume formula, the area formula, I think you better remember it yourself. But SPM consider very kind already, because they give you 3 or 4 pages of formula. If you guys are taking an O level, they only have 5 formula, which is less than half page. Yeah, they don't give any formula. They have to memorize all by themselves. And then you all have so many formula. You all should appreciate that. If you want to get A plus, I guess it's around 70, 68 to 70. You want to get A, you make sure you at least you score 65 lah. 65 is a safe number to say A. For circular measure, I make a lot of video about circular measure, because for circular measure, I would say it's a bonus mark topics. You go to find out my circular measure video, it's just 4 formula. It's just arc length, the area of sector, and then 2 solution of triangle formula, that's all. For trigograph, I just shared the trigograph video on my Facebook page. You can go to check out what is the amplitude, what is the period, and then how to sketch in terms of radian. Okay, since student asked about rate of change, so I will just randomly explain a little bit on rate of change. A minus, I say already, I guess it's about 60 to 65. Okay, rate of change. Okay, rate of change only have one formula for rate of change. Rate of change is different with small change, okay? Rate of change, you only have one formula, which they call change rule. So if let's say I want to find the rate of change of t, this one I will call it rate of change of t. So I say many times in my video, whenever you see the word rate, mean you always write the dt at the bottom. The dt is always at the denominator. I mean rate of change of y. What am I doing? Rate of change of y. So how to write the change rule? You do the equal and then draw 2 lines. Middle you add a multiply. And then the dy you write on the top here. And dt you write on the second fraction, the bottom here. The middle, these two terms must be the same. So I will just assume dx and dx. You assume if you can simplify dx and dx, basically you get back dy dt. So this is what we call change rule. Okay, you always need to form a change rule. And then for change rule over here, something you must very careful. If let's say the ice is melt, the ice will melt at maybe 3 cm cube per second. So from here, when I see cm cube, I know it's volume. When I see per second, I know this is time. So I will say dv is the volume over dt. dt is always at the bottom. You don't need to worry. Is it possible dt on the top? Not possible. Okay, so dv dt equals to 3. But if you write 3, you won't get full mark. Because what? Because the word melt, the melt actually the size of the volume is decreasing. So you have to add a negative. Okay, this is something quite important. Okay, then you just substitute into the something like dv dt, and then you will have something like dy dx, and then this one you just substitute the value into it whatsoever. For over here, I mean this formula over here, the y and x can be anything. The y and x you can change to the volume, you can change to the area, you can change to the radius, you can change to the length, you can change to anything you want. They doesn't fix that. Y and x is just a variable. Okay? Okay, I guess that's all. Graph functions for sine, cos, tangent. How to answer a question about proving the trigo part. I already say the proving of trigo part at the beginning of this video. If you still stuck, you maybe later you can watch back the whole video. The YouTube will upload for me. DYDS, I don't think you can use in calculator. If you really can, maybe I do not know. I just know integration, you can use the calculator. Small change is just a simple formula. Change of y over change of x equals to dy dx. And then you just need to remember the dy dx. You always need to substitute the old values of x into the dy dx. Mean the original value of x. Okay, if the original of x is not given, only give the original of y value. You just substitute your y value into your original equation to find your x value. Then substitute back into your dy dx. Small change is another bonus mark question. It's very easy. Yeah, for trigonometry is a very big topic. I mean, yeah, you should understand everything. I mean, rotate how many round? Yeah, you have to remember something like 4 quadrant. When you rotate second round, what will happen? Everything I mentioned in my Trigo video already. Because if I start to talk about Trigo, this video not going to end today. It will maybe until 2 a.m. Trigo is a super long topic. And graph of trigonometry, I just share a short video in my Facebook channel. I'm in my Facebook page. You can go to check it out. Or you can just go to my YouTube channel to type any topic you want to find. But I not encourage you to study until too late tonight because tomorrow is your MF exam. At least 5 to 6 hours sleep is the minimum for MF exam because you want to make sure your brain can work, can function perfectly fine. You need to sleep well and drink more water. So how about value of minimum, value of length, and width of cut? This kind of question always come out. Yeah, this is exactly the question what I say just now. You want to find a minimum value of length or width. Normally, you will need to form one equation. First, they'll give you parameter, and then they'll give you another equation for area. And then you have to substitute, do simultaneous for both equations. Binomial distribution is also the formula only. There's nothing special about. Yeah, for index number C and D, you just go to check my index number video. If you don't know how to check my index number video, maybe I can share to you right now. I mean, I can't like simply talk about index number. I must have a question in order to do that. But what I can say is about last part of index number is you always need to use the chain rule to actually solve the index number on the part 4. Yeah, just some of you actually want about index number. Just go to check out this video. It will help you. Okay, so for circular measure, same thing. You can just go to my channel and type circular measure. It all will come out. But since you asked, so I will just copy the circular measure link. Okay, this is a link for circular measure. Integration using cylinder shield method. Yeah, integration, if the rectangle rotate 360, you will just get the volume of cylinder. Okay, so for the progression of the circle one, isn't it? It's actually very easy. Depend they want area. Normally they want the area of circumference. So if for the area you just change, if the question give you r, you just like pi r squared every radius. If you want to find the circumference of every circle, you just do 2 pi r for every circle, and then you form the progression by yourself. Do a set of paper. It's not possible now. It's 10:30 already, and then I will need to end this virtual class in 5 minutes. So yeah, just don't worry so much. Try your best to go for your exam tomorrow. Everything will be fine. Trust yourself because this now is last minute already. I mean, yeah, focus on those parts you can do well. Make sure you do well. And then those parts you can't do, you don't worry right now because you can't do tomorrow as well. So focus on those questions you can do well, trying to get as many marks as possible in in the exam, you just assume you are playing the games and then you try to score as best as possible. So those you cannot do one, just let it go, then focus on those you can do. I don't know, because a lot of students come to my Facebook or Telegram actually ask me about which topic is very easy to score. It's very depend on you. If you ask me, I will think most of the topic is very easy. Like circular measure is a bonus mark question. Linear law is a bonus mark question. Geometric coordinate is a bonus mark question. Integration, differentiation also considered very easy, but maybe it's hard for some students. Progression sometimes is very easy. And then what else we have? Yeah, a lot of topic for me is considered still okay. Yeah, difference between real root and b squared minus 4ac is considered very easy topic. For paper 2, always answer the easiest question first. Not to say easiest one, mean you always answer those questions you are very confident one. Because for paper 2, most of the students will not enough time to do paper 2. Especially if you spend half an hour in one question, then you can't finish your paper 2. Because your paper 2 have something like 10 or 12 questions. So for paper 2, just do on those questions you are very confident you can do very well. If you do wrong already, if you really know how to do and then you do carrot mistake wrong already, cross the whole page and then take a new paper and redo it. If you're still not confirmed, don't try and error many times. Go to do those questions you can do first. The Earth is not going to come out in AddMath. If you want to do a revision, yeah, focus on paper 2. Normally, paper 2 is a tough one. Paper 1, even tough, only like 3 or 4 marks. You lost the 3 and 4 marks, you still get A. Even they give 20% of the K-bar question, but then you still get A. So don't worry so much on paper 1. Because paper 1 is each question is like 3 to 4 marks only. They give you 25 questions. But for paper 2, they only give you 10 questions like that. Each question is about 10 marks. So you should focus more on paper 2. Yeah, you can't borrow my brain. You need to bring your confidence to the exam hall. Because trust me, in AddMath, confidence is very important. Because a lot of students, maybe they can do that question, but then they are just so worried that they'll do wrong, and then end up they'll give up, they don't do, they leave it blank. Just try to write something. If you learn about brainstorming method, one of the very useful method called free writing. Free writing is your brain actually will work when you start to write something. So even the question okay, let's say you finish all the questions you can do, and then you still have 1 hour, and then a lot of questions you can't do, you just simply write anything you can remember on the paper, and then trust me, you will remember more and more. This is what the brainstorming free writing method works. When you start to writing, your brain will actually try to remember back anything is related to that. So when you have some time, just write about everything on the paper. Don't leave it blank now. (10 to 2 p.m.) not possible. I normally I won't wake up so early, and some more in the school you're not supposed to bring your phone to the school or something like that, or you're not supposed to bring your computer to school, isn't it? Yeah, so I think that's all, and I just wish all of you do your best tomorrow, and don't worry, because the gap is very low, and then I guess most of you can get A. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all for the live classroom today, because there's not possible to answer so many questions. I'm sorry for those questions I haven't answered, because the chat room is actually like spam the message. So many, I couldn't even focus on any specific question. Yeah, definitely I will miss all of you because yeah, next year you will go to university and then you will go to Form 6 or A level whatsoever. Make sure you do well in your uni because SPM is just a stage. And if you do well, you can choose your course. If you do not so well, you can still enter the university trying to choose something you are really interested and trying to do well in the future. I think math or MF is gonna help you a lot in your study. So yeah, I think that's all. All the best and good luck. Because a lot of students just comment in my YouTube channel, pray for me. Yes, definitely I will pray for all of you. And then I hope all of you actually can get A and then give me a very good testimonial in my Facebook or in my YouTube. Yeah. And I would really appreciate if you can share my channel to your friend, your junior, or your sister and brother. Anyways, yeah, that's all. And then rest early tonight. Good night. Bye bye. See you.